We left Detective Aaron Cole staring into a digital mirror. The 6-second video, posted to Lila James's own account by her captor, was the ultimate taunt. It showed a dark, confined space, an antique chair, and, in a brief flicker of reflection on a cracked mirror, the silhouette of a man in a baseball cap. The same man who left the size 11 footprint and bought the burner phone. The stalker wasn't hiding. He was staging a public performance, and Lila's millions of followers were the captive audience. Cole realized they weren't dealing with a typical criminal seeking ransom or simple violence. This was a crime of digital entitlement, a predator seeking to insert himself into Lila's narrative and become the central character in her story. The game was attention, and the ultimate climax would be broadcast to the world. The question facing the police was terrifyingly simple. How do you stop a performance when the stage is the internet itself, and the applause is measured in viral fear? Cole, along with a team of forensic analysts, dissected the 6-second clip. The video's metadata was scrubbed clean, but the content held subtle clues. They isolated the reflection. It wasn't just a man. The mirror, they realized, was hanging above a deeply corroded cast iron pedestal, a specific style of plumbing from the 1920s. Furthermore, the light source wasn't an industrial bulb. It was filtered through a large arched, grid-patterned window visible just beyond the frame. This isn't a basement, and it's not a private residence, Cole stated, circling the image on the screen. That is municipal architecture. That curved window and the heavy iron suggest a public building built decades ago. A gymnasium, a library annex, or maybe an old bathhouse. The environment was cavernous and damp, explaining the muffled quality of the audio and the smell of old concrete reported by the fans who amplified the video's sound. The captor was hiding in plain sight, using a forgotten piece of the city's infrastructure as his private stage. The team immediately cross-referenced local infrastructure records with the coordinates of the train yard, the first discarded clue. They narrowed the list down to 3 abandoned sites, all within a forgotten stretch of a neighboring park system. Meanwhile, the investigation into the captor's identity, watcher in the dark, yielded a name: Mark Jansen. Jansen was a 30-year-old former programmer who had worked for one of the tech startups Lila's father had invested in years prior. He had been quietly laid off after an incident involving digital boundary violations. His digital life was a hollow echo of Lila's success. He was an aspiring creator who never gained traction, leaving him with a deep-seated resentment against the people who easily captured the attention he craved. He knew the inner workings of social media, and, crucially, he knew how to exploit the hunger of the audience. Jansen wasn't interested in harming Lila, not initially. He was interested in owning her narrative. He wanted to be the one who finally gave her audience the real drama, the high-stakes performance that transcended dance routines. Before Cole's team could mobilize on the 3 locations, Jansen struck again. Another video appeared on Lila's TikTok. This one was even shorter, just 2 seconds, and contained no visual information, only a distorted sound clip. It was Lila's voice, isolated and manipulated, whispering one distinct word: anchor. The word repeated 3 times, fading into a distorted, echoing loop. The reaction online was immediate and devastating. Fans instantly interpreted anchor as a plea, a call for help to her best friend, Maya Chun, whom Lila had frequently called her anchor in live streams. The internet turned its gaze on Maya, pressuring the police to bring her in, scrutinize her phone, and reinvestigate her role. Detective Cole watched the public reaction unfold in real time. He knew Mark Jansen hadn't posted this video for the police. He posted it for the audience, knowing the media storm would shift focus on Amaya, thereby prolonging the spectacle and forcing the police to publicly waste time tracking down a known associate. He's watching the comments, the news, the hashtags, Cole realized, slamming his hand on the desk. He's seeing what gets the most clicks, what creates the most noise. The moment we target Maya, he wins a round. But the taunt gave Cole an idea. Jansen believed he was controlling the narrative, but that also made him predictable. If they fed the algorithm a false truth, Jansen would be compelled to respond to it. They needed a counter-performance. Cole pulled Maya Chun into a private, secure conference room. She was terrified and heartbroken, desperate to help. Jansen is using your connection to Lila to draw attention, Cole explained, his voice low and serious. He wants us to chase you. We're going to let him think we are chasing you. We're going to broadcast a controlled lie. The plan was audacious. Maya would send a seemingly private, emotionally devastating tweet, visible to the public, claiming she knew exactly where Lila was and that she was cooperating with police to find her secret hideout. A reference to a recurring inside joke from their middle school days. They knew Jansen, the digital voyeur, would be monitoring her every word. The tweet went live. Lila, I heard you. I'm telling them about the old Oak Haven spot. We're coming for you, Anchor. The reference to Oak Haven was a direct, calculated lie. But it worked. Within minutes, Jansen, monitoring social media, took the bait. He didn't delete the tweet, but he reacted to the perceived threat to his control. Cole's team had traced the 3 potential municipal locations. Now, they focused on the area around the Oak Haven Municipal Bathhouse, one of the 3 sites, and simultaneously tracked the brief spike of network activity coming from one of Mark Jansen's known burner SIM cards. The activity was minuscule, just a few packets of data, but it was enough. Jansen was online, attempting to check the latest comments on Maya's tweet and prepare his next stage video. The spike confirmed the location, the Oak Haven Municipal Bathhouse. The Oak Haven Municipal Bathhouse was a crumbling relic built during the Depression era. It was a monstrous, tiled mausoleum of concrete and water, abandoned since the 1980s. The site was vast, isolated in the park, and perfect for staging a private, horrifying show. Cole's tactical team moved in at midnight, under the cover of a thick marine layer. The air inside the building was freezing and dense with the smell of mold and forgotten chemicals. The vast, empty indoor pool area was lit only by the team's flashlights, the light reflecting unervingly off the cracked ceramic tile. The building echoed every whisper, every footstep. They followed the sound. It wasn't the sound of struggle, but the sound of digital production, a faint, tinny loop of Lila's voice, the word anchor playing over and over. The trail led them past the main pool to a storage room that had once been the administrative office. The door was crudely locked with a wire. Cole ordered silence and positioned his team. They knew Jansen wouldn't run. He would want the moment of his capture, the ultimate dramatic confrontation, to be part of the show he was preparing. They breached the door. The room was small, its single window permanently obscured by filth. The air was thick and stale. And there, sitting in the dusty antique chair, the very same chair from the 6-second video, was Lila James. She was physically unharmed, but deeply traumatized, shaking violently, her eyes fixed on the ceiling. She was restrained loosely, enough to keep her seated, but without causing visible injury. Her silver bracelet was indeed twisted on her wrist. Across the room, bathed in the blinding light of a ring light mounted on a tripod, was Mark Jansen. He was exactly as the surveillance footage suggested. Tall, broad-shouldered, wearing the dark hoodie and the baseball cap pulled low. He wasn't armed with a knife or a gun. His weapon was a second burner phone, currently running a private, unlisted live stream aimed at the chair. Jansen barely acknowledged the police. His eyes were wide, not with fear, but with manic concentration, fixed on the red recording light of the phone. "You're ruining the ending," Jansen hissed, his voice a low, intense whisper, aimed not at the detectives, but at the camera. I needed to get the final dialogue, the reveal. She's supposed to look right into the camera, detective. "You're early." He wasn't performing for the officers. He was arguing with the audience that wasn't there yet. Cole stepped forward, his tone low and calming. "It's over, Mark. The show is canceled. Turn the phone off." Jansen ignored him, furiously typing on the secondary phone, attempting to upload a final, pre-recorded clip, a dramatic voiceover explaining his motivation, set against the looped sound of Lila whispering anchor. The tactical team moved in quickly, securing Jansen. He didn't resist arrest, not because he was defeated, but because the arrest itself became his ultimate content. As the handcuffs clicked, his last act was to try and hold the phone up, capturing the moment of his own destruction for the algorithm. Lila was immediately wrapped in a blanket and rushed out. Her first words were quiet, directed not at her mother, but at Detective Cole. Did he get the views? Mark Jansen was charged with kidnapping and digital harassment. The police investigation revealed that his plan was never to physically harm Lila, but to hold her captive just long enough to create a series of high-production, cryptic videos that would go viral, culminating in a dramatic reveal where he presented himself as the misunderstood genius who exposed the darkness behind her perfect feed. His goal was fame, measured in millions of clicks, even if it meant destroying the life of the person who gave him the stage. Lila James was physically safe, but forever changed. Her experience exposed the deep pathology inherent in the attention economy. The way fame can create a sense of ownership, and the way silence, in a world built on noise, can become the loudest, most terrifying weapon of all. The case of Lila James is closed, but the real mystery, the terrifying question of what happens when obsession meets the endless digital stage, is one that still haunts the creators and followers of TikTok. Her voice returned, but her innocence, the naive belief that she controlled her own narrative, was irrevocably lost. The dark echo of the watcher in the dark still reverberates every time a popular account goes quiet. This was Trace Crime Files. Subscribe for more stories where truth is stranger than fiction, and justice is never as simple as it seems.